Howdy, viewers. I was just thinking about this the past day or so, but feminism empowers men, quite possibly at the expense of women. Um, why is that? Because one of the foundational, I guess we could say foundational principles of feminism is that women can only be women and men can be either men or women. See, the idea is that men being men is in feminism is considered a negative part of men, so they want sort of a men to be more like women. So in that sense, men can either choose to be a man or a woman. And you can look at this with the whole bathroom situation, or the transgender bathroom situation. They've been having I don't know if it actually ended up being a debate because it's already voted in, but in in the state of Washington. But this whole that transgender bathroom situation is actually further empowering men over women because now all men get you know the whole idea is men can now go into the women's bathroom. The other the whole feminist idea is supposed to be for protecting women, and it's just odd that when essentially the other side wants to keep men from being able to go into the women's bathroom in order to protect women. It's just odd that that is seen as a negative stereo, not a stereotype, but just a negative. Somehow it's seen as a negative in the feminist movement. That the way the other side wants to protect women is not how you protect women, apparently. So it's the whole idea that men, men can essentially overpower women. At least in general, men are more likely to be able to overpower women. So I don't know. Maybe it'll lead to all men just using the women's bathroom. Another thing that feminism, empowers men is, well, it takes away the idea that they have to get married, or that they should look into getting married. They should consider getting married, especially to a woman. And the as feminism presses on, it says women don't need men. Women don't want to be in the kitchen, and so one of the things is feminism presses for acceptance of being gay or homosexual. And when one of the things about homosexuality in the past, it's essentially the stigma against it has essentially kept most homosexuals in the closet to where they'd actually get married to a woman. And now that now there's no real big stigma against it due to this feminist movement. Men can now feel safe, you know, not feel like they have to get married to a woman to hide their sexuality. They instead, are happy and free to be with another man instead. So that essentially takes away the women from getting the chance, or being more likely to have a man. So in that sense, feminism has further empowered men, and in a way, at the expense of women. Uh, that also goes further towards adoption, and men, the the feminism is pushed for, since homosexuality has become more acceptable. Feminism has pushed for the ability of same-sex couples to adopt. The thing about adoption is, then these men don't have to consider either actually marrying a woman if they want a child or getting a woman pregnant. They can just go and adopt a child. So they can basically take the woman out of the equation as far as creating a family for themselves. And the then they don't, another thing is, as when you know men don't really have to worry about the pregnancy problem, and or even, if they're monogamous, they don't really have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about getting pregnant or anything. So, the feminism has empowered men in that way. It also empowers men to stand up to be single, and just avoid marriage completely. You know, because men, one of the things that feminism does is they try to, or at least they seem to be trying to change things at the expense of men, and it's only helping to empower men to make better decisions for their life. Because men don't want to be with a woman. They don't want to have someone that they're just babysitting, and they're recognizing, that they don't necessarily need a woman to satisfy their desires. They don't, and they don't want to get married and have to basically abandon what their life is either. So many men may just choose to be single, or at least in a way be very very selective in choosing a woman if they want to be with. Uh, Feminism is also helping get rid of, or at least empowering men to speak out against legal discrimination against them, such as how they may be forced to pay child support or alimony, or even the whole thing about the court system basically leaning in favor of women all the time, because feminism is essentially helping with equaling that all out, such that men are realizing how what kind they're getting a really bad deal out of how the system is set up right now. Um, it's also empowering men to make different decisions about about their work, having a job, and having income. Because one of the things you want to think about is that you know men in general make more money than women. This means that one of the things is that men are would be paying more tax or taxed more because they make more, while women are taxed less because they make less. So feminism seeks to balance out that equation. So essentially, what's essentially going to happen is, women, I mean, there's probably not a man in the world that wouldn't mind having a woman pay for his expenses. So it might end up that women are going to be making more money, but they're going to be paying more, or they're going to be taxed more, while men are going to be may choose to work less, or they're going to have a little more freedom because the women may be making more money and maybe paying the bills, so a man can have more choice in what he wants to do with his life because he might not have to have a job. Some of the other things is it also, feminism is also empowering men to get into, you know, careers that may be more aimed towards women, so, such as the fashion industry or nursing, those kind of things, because feminism help get rid of that stigma. But the problem is you're probably gonna end up, women will no longer have that industry for themselves so much. And one of the interesting things is, especially with the fashion industry, you get lots of, men are seem to do a really good job in the fashion industry, or at least they they get ahead really well in the fashion industry. I mean, it may be, I believe, I understand that most of the time it's homosexual men that are getting along really well in there. So this whole feminist movement, it just appears to me that it's I guess destructive to itself as far as women, because either, I mean, you're not gonna be able to somehow put women up on a pedestal. I mean, unless you're actually seeking to oppress men in such in a way where you're purposely making their life more difficult. There you can't really make life easier. I mean, easier for women, but you can kind of. I want to say you can kind of balance it out, but this whole feminist movement, appears to be tipping the scale in a way to where men are going to be even more empowered than they were, because they're gonna feel more free to do, things that were traditionally women. They're gonna be going to the women's bathroom. They're gonna be able to adopt. They don't, the, I mean, the best family situation is essentially a mother and father, but worry you don't have to worry about the whole pregnancy thing. You don't have to worry about Men don't have to worry about getting pregnant. Men are, they're as far as their sexual desires, they're not so inclined to have a woman, so they can, these men that are more choosing to be single or being more selective, don't have that pregnancy problem with getting a woman pregnant, because the problem with pregnancy is the legal system that's slanted against men. Men aren't going to need to be the breadwinners, so they'll be a little more free to choose their career, or choose the things they want to do with their life. They won't. The men will no longer be paying the majority of taxes. And men will be basically invading women's spaces.